All right, here we go. Continuing on our hermeneutical journey. We're into rule number 3. All right, rule number 1, and we're finding out that the order may not be in order of importance, but they're ordered nonetheless. Number 1 that we talked about, the first one we talked about was that a passage of Scripture can never mean what it never meant. Okay? Number 2 was context is king. All right? Number 3 is this concept of the best interpreter of Scripture, or the best commentary on Scripture is Scripture itself. You know, oftentimes my first reaction when I come into a difficult passage of Scripture is to go grab a commentary, you know, by some author that perhaps has looked at it and read it and is giving us their interpretation, okay? And that's not bad. But what we do need to do first is to allow the Bible, allow other passages of Scripture to interpret the passage we're looking at. So we need to have resources, some kind of tools, and they're not hard to come by, that we can. I'll do a video on that. I'll give you a couple of 2 or 3 of the tools that I use that are very beneficial. All right, so stay tuned for that. But you find a tool that you can help find other passages in the Bible that use the same phrase, that use the same words, that perhaps are using the same event that's going on. There are a lot of different ways that we can take the Bible itself and no other resource and use the Bible and other passages to interpret the passage that we're struggling with, or perhaps we just want to know what the true interpretation is. So again, what we need to do is, rather than running to a commentary first, let's use the Bible as its own commentary and determine what the passage of Scripture means.